Overthinking is one of the most common psychological struggles people face today. At first glance, it may look harmless, just thinking too much. But when our minds become stuck in endless loops of analyzing, replaying, and predicting, it can lead to stress, anxiety, and even depression. Overthinking entraps us in our own thoughts and prevents us from living fully in the present. To understand how to break free, we must dive into the psychology of overthinking, what it is, why it happens, what science says about it, and which strategies actually work to overcome it. What exactly is overthinking? Overthinking is not just thinking carefully. It is when thinking goes beyond problem solving and becomes repetitive, unproductive, and uncontrollable. Instead of reaching solutions, people who overthink get caught in cycles of rumination, replaying the past, or worrying, imagining what could go wrong tomorrow, from financial problems to health issues. Psychologists often describe overthinking as a form of mental noise, a constant inner dialogue that drains energy but produces little clarity. Unlike productive reflection, which helps us grow and make better decisions, overthinking keeps us stuck. The two main forms of overthinking. 1. Rumination. This involves repeatedly dwelling on the past. A person might think, "Why did I say that?" Or, "What if I had made a different choice?" Rumination often leads to feelings of regret, guilt, or shame. 2. Worrying. This focuses on the future. Thoughts like, "What if I fail?" or "What if something bad happens?" dominate the mind. Worrying often leads to anxiety and fear. Both rumination and worrying hijack the brain's attention, keeping it locked in cycles that increase stress rather than solve problems. Why do we overthink? Psychological explanations. The reasons behind overthinking are complex, but psychology and neuroscience give us valuable insights. Several factors contribute to why people get stuck in their minds. 1. Evolutionary roots. Humans evolved with a strong tendency to anticipate danger. Our ancestors survived by constantly scanning for threats and imagining worst-case scenarios. In the modern world, however, this survival mechanism backfires. Instead of predators, we worry about bills, relationships, and careers. Our brains still operate in threat detection mode, leading to overthinking. 2. The brain's default mode network, DMN. Neuroscience research shows that when our minds are not focused on a task, a brain system called the default mode network becomes active. This network is associated with self-referential thinking, reflecting on ourselves, our past, and our future. While useful for creativity and planning, overactivation of the DMN is linked to overthinking and depression. 3. Perfectionism and high standards. People who set unrealistically high expectations for themselves are more prone to overthinking. They fear making mistakes and spend hours analyzing every decision. This perfectionist mindset creates endless self-doubt. 4. Fear of uncertainty. Many people overthink because they want absolute certainty before acting. The human brain dislikes ambiguity, so it tries to create a sense of control by analyzing every possible outcome. Ironically, this leads to paralysis rather than clarity. 5. Past trauma and negative experiences. Psychologists have found that individuals with unresolved trauma or painful experiences are more likely to ruminate. The mind returns to past events, trying to rewrite them, even though it cannot. 6. Lack of emotional regulation skills. Overthinking is also connected to difficulties in managing emotions. Instead of feeling sadness, anger, or fear directly, some people turn to endless thinking as a way to avoid emotions. The psychological costs of overthinking. Overthinking does not just waste time, it has serious consequences for mental and physical health. Increased anxiety and depression. Studies show a strong link between rumination and depressive symptoms. The more people dwell on negative thoughts, the deeper they sink into hopelessness. Decision paralysis. Overthinkers often struggle to make choices. They fear making the wrong decision and end up making none at all. Sleep problems. The mind stuck in overdrive keeps people awake at night, leading to insomnia and fatigue. Weakened relationships. Constant overanalyzing of interactions can damage friendships and romantic relationships. People may appear distant, insecure, or overly critical. Physical health issues. Chronic stress from overthinking can increase the risk of headaches, muscle tension, digestive issues, and even heart disease. What science says about overthinking. Psychological research provides important insights into how and why overthinking works. Harvard study on mind wandering. Research from Harvard University found that people spend nearly 47% of their waking hours thinking about something other than what they are doing. Importantly, this mind wandering was strongly linked to lower happiness levels. Nolan Hoeksema's rumination theory. Psychologist Susan Nolan Hoeksema's work showed that rumination is a key factor in depression, especially in women. Her studies revealed that overthinking amplifies negative emotions rather than resolving them. Cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, techniques are highly effective in treating overthinking. By challenging distorted thoughts and replacing them with realistic ones, people can break free from mental loops. Mindfulness research. Studies show that mindfulness meditation reduces activity in the default mode network and helps people focus on the present moment. Breaking free. How to stop overthinking. The good news is that overthinking is not permanent. With practice, people can learn to break free. Psychologists recommend several strategies. 1. Practice mindfulness. Mindfulness means paying attention to the present without judgment. Simple practices like focusing on the breath, observing sensations, or noticing surroundings can quiet the overactive mind. Even 5 minutes of mindfulness can reduce overthinking. 2. Set time limits for thinking. Instead of letting thoughts spiral, schedule worry time. For example, allow yourself 15 minutes a day to think about your concerns. Once the time is up, redirect your focus to something else. 3. Challenge negative thoughts. Ask yourself, is this thought true? What evidence do I have? What would I tell a friend in this situation? This helps reframe distorted thinking patterns. 4. Write it down. Journaling is a powerful tool. Putting thoughts on paper externalizes them, making them easier to manage. Once written, the brain often feels a sense of release. 5. Focus on what you can control. Overthinking often comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. Instead, identify what is within your power and take small actions toward it. Let go of what you cannot control. 6. Practice self-compassion. Instead of criticizing yourself for overthinking, treat yourself with kindness. Say, "It's okay that I'm struggling. Everyone does sometimes." Self-compassion reduces shame and promotes healing. 7. Physical activity. Exercise reduces stress hormones and increases endorphins, helping to clear the overactive mind. Even a short walk outside can interrupt cycles of overthinking. 8. Limit information overload. In the digital age, constant exposure to news and social media fuels overthinking. Setting boundaries with technology can create mental space. 9. Seek therapy. If overthinking severely impacts life, professional help is valuable. Therapists trained in CBT, mindfulness-based therapy, or acceptance and commitment therapy, ACT, can provide guidance. Real-life examples of overthinking. The student. An university student spends hours replaying an exam, thinking about every question they might have answered wrong. Instead of studying for the next test, they get trapped in regret. The professional. An employee overanalyzes a presentation, worrying if colleagues thought poorly of them. This worry prevents them from speaking up in future meetings. The parent. A parent constantly worries about their child's future, imagining worst-case scenarios. Instead of enjoying time with their child, they live in fear of what if. These examples highlight how overthinking affects people in everyday life and why learning to manage it is essential. The paradox of overthinking. One of the strangest aspects of overthinking is that people often believe it is helpful. They think, if I just keep thinking about this problem, I will find an answer. But research shows the opposite. Overthinking decreases problem-solving ability, reduces creativity, and increases stress. The mind becomes less effective the more it spins in circles. Toward a healthier mindset. Breaking free from overthinking doesn't mean never reflecting or planning. It means finding balance. Productive thinking involves clarity, action, and acceptance. Overthinking involves confusion, paralysis, and resistance. By practicing mindfulness, self-compassion, and action-oriented habits, anyone can shift toward a healthier mindset. Overthinking is a deeply human struggle, rooted in our evolutionary biology and modern lifestyles. While it can feel overwhelming, it is not a life sentence. By understanding the psychology behind it and applying proven strategies, we can step out of mental loops and live with greater peace and presence. The key is not to silence the mind completely, but to guide it wisely, letting thoughts serve us rather than trap us.